Alright, here's this. And then just make sure you have your volume down on that. Otherwise it'll just infinitely repeat.
Yep.
You got it open? You got that page open?
Yeah, it's running slow right now. I think my internet's garbage.
Okay. Would it be better if you just didn't have that open, really? Because I guess you'd really just need to hear, like, us, right? I can't think of any reason that you would have to have the stream itself open.
Yeah, it might be easier because something funky happened with your voice as well once I opened it.
Okay, yeah, let's just have it closed then.
Alright.
I hope it's not on my end. Otherwise, that'll
There
slow
you go,
us
you're better
down.
now.
Yeah, it looks like we're good. Alright. Here it goes. To the Deadstream. My name is CZ, and I will be your host this episode, and I am joined this afternoon by the Fluff of Nightmares, Lady White Rabbit.
Hello.
And we're also joined today by Cinder.
Hey.
You're listening to episode 1 of the Deadstream. Rabbit, what have you released this month, and do you have any projects that are coming up that you want to talk about?
Let's see. What I have released recently was a story about a creepypasta about quitting smoking and how that can turn horribly terrible when there's demons involved. And I'm a little bit behind, so I'm not on a weekly schedule currently, but my next video I'm hoping to have is 5 disturbing animated films.
Oh, that sounds cool. So are you branching out like away from just narrations and more into like analysis and stuff like that? Or list videos?
What I'd like to do is, a lot of people want me to do true stories, which I really don't enjoy. So I'm not moving away from creepypastas, but I'm finding real life things that are disturbing that I can find footage of and direct people to so they can enjoy something that's a little more real.
That's interesting, because it seems like what's popular right now is the true scary stories. Like a little while ago, it was more the creepypasta.
Mm-hmm.
And now it seems to be trending more towards the true scary stories. We discovered this channel recently named Obsolete Oddity.
Yep.
Cinder, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
What?
Basically, he does narrations of true historical stories that have happened, and there's generally a element of horror within them. Like, there was an entire episode about a man in Germany who sold pickled human flesh to the villagers.
And those are all like factually based. And then, like, all of the media that he uses, I think, is genuine artifacts and stuff like that.
What he can find that's close enough to the era that has to do with it.
We discovered him, and he had like 60,000, right?
Something like that.
And we went back the next day, and there was like 80,000. So it seems like that kind of stuff is just blowing up right now.
I think he's higher than that now.
Yeah, I'm sure I think he's over 100 by now. Yeah, and you look at, like, Rabbit, does your decision to go more into that stuff have anything to do, like, if you look at a lot of the bigger channels, like if you look at Rob Dyke and Rainbot even, they tend to go more towards, like, the real morbid stuff as opposed to fiction?
Yeah, I've always had a interest in disturbing things that you can find online that somebody's actually done, you know, like theories of old cartoons like that. Not exactly fiction, but a little uncertain where they came from and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Search and find. My setback so far has been figuring out how to get actual footage onto my video so that people have something to watch as well as listen to.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that. Because I know if you want to do like, what did you say it was gonna be, like a list of scary animated films?
Disturbing and depressing.
Okay. Um, like if you're gonna go down that road, are you planning on like showing clips from the films and like how's that gonna work with copyright?
I mean, I've gotten the idea from other channels. I think I'm gonna obviously mute the audio, so it's just gonna be me talking over it,
Yeah, I
and
think
then
that
it'll
helps a
just
lot.
be short little clips from here.
Mm-hmm.
So just giving an idea of what the film is like versus giving away anything about it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that doesn't like. Obviously that's fair use, but with YouTube system, you never know what's gonna happen. But hopefully that
Oh,
that
sure.
doesn't end up tripping any
Yeah.
alarms.
Yeah, I pretty much I've gotten Gloomy House was the reason I had the ideas, and all the films I'm finding are from like the 50s and 60s, so it's not
Is
anything recent.
is Gloomy House one of the films?
He's one of the channels that
Oh,
talks about disturbing things that you can find in the real world.
I have not heard of Gloomy House. I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah, definitely.
So as for the stuff that we've released lately, our last release was this short film called Skinwalker, which we had the worst time trying to get finished, but we finally got it done, and it doesn't look too bad, I don't think, for like all of the trials that we had to go over to get there. Um,
Trials sounds like an understatement.
yeah, we're actually planning on doing an episode of True Fear just about like the production of that film, because Cinder's convinced that it's a cursed film.
I mean, I don't see how it's not with how much went wrong.
I don't know. Like, I don't honestly believe that like the production is cursed because I don't really even know how that would happen. But
I don't know.
um, definitely the hardest time that we've had getting anything out. Um, have you been keeping up with any of the news in the horror community at all?
Um, the news that I've been following is just mostly on Rob Dyke's stuff and how YouTube is being uh, unfair to horror content on YouTube, and
Yeah,
just
that's one of the
hoping
things that I
that's going
want
to
to
go
talk
away
about.
eventually.
Hmm.
Mm.
I know Rob put out a tweet. It was a while ago. It was probably like a month ago, but it was kind of like at the height of the whole
Yep.
adpocalypse thing, where he said that he talked to somebody at YouTube, and like he honestly believes that it's going to get better, but he didn't really disclose any of the
Oh
details of
yeah.
that conversation, of course. But it seems like a lot of people have taken to doing a lot of different things. Like, did you hear about what Chilling Tales for Dark Nights did?
No.
At one point, they like blacked out their entire channel and unlisted all the videos, and just uploaded
Hmm.
this video with like a black thumbnail that said, like they're starting a Patreon or something, and if they don't hit like a certain amount, then they're like holding all of their content until that happens. So I know they were kind of receiving a lot of flack for that. And then
Right.
there's this thing that happened between Southern Cannibal and Corpse Husband, where I guess Corpse Husband, I don't know if you watch his videos, but he did this thing where it was kind of like a joke where he was pretending like, oh, I have nothing, I have to eat dirt right now because the ad revenue is so low, um, and just joking around like that. And then I guess Southern Cannibal did something similar, and then people were accusing him of copying Corpse Husband, and then he ended up taking the video down and re-uploading it without that segment.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I personally was lucky flying under the radar as such a channel that I didn't really get hit by any ad revenue issues.
Really?
But I
Uh,
just don't. I don't think it would be fair to punish the audience basically by taking your content down. It's not their fault. And even if I had no ads, I would still be uploading and doing this because I didn't always any money off of my channel, and I still did it because I wanted to, and the audience now wants me to as well, and I don't think it's fair to take it away from them.
right. I feel the same way. And like it's impossible for me to really tell. I'm pretty sure that we have been hit by it because just looking at um, like projected income versus like what's actually come in, um,
Mm-hmm.
and it's only like about 20% of what's projected, but it's hard to tell like based on what I was making before because like I've had all of my
Right.
growth basically since the start of the apocalypse.
Oh, sure, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was barely making anything anyway, so 20% of nothing is still nothing to me.
Um, there was also a tweet, Unit 522.
Yeah.
He, I guess he kind of commented on the whole like withholding content from the audience thing. He said, "I'm not
Mm.
anti-donate, but I am anti-guilting your audience into donating because I can't upload. If they don't, shameless and pathetic BS." And then a lot of people in the comments thought that like he was kind of taking a shot at Chilling Tales and Southern Cannibal for some of the stuff that they had done.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything terribly horrible in the horror community. I've seen other channels try to do that to their audience, and I completely agree with him. You shouldn't try to guilt your audience into subscribing money to you. This is something that we should be doing because it's our passion. And I understand if you're making a living off of YouTube, you can ask for help, but you shouldn't go beyond that ever. Because without your audience, you wouldn't be making a living off of YouTube to begin with.
Right. And I always feel like whatever whatever I do end up making off of YouTube is probably going to be not as much compared to like the stuff that comes from growing an audience on YouTube. Like if you grow an audience,
Sure.
then like eventually you'll be able to get into merch and sponsorships. And like one thing that I hope to do is
Mm.
like to be able to generate buzz to direct like my own feature film one day because of the audience
Yeah,
that I've grown on YouTube.
absolutely. Right, right.
What were the other channels that you saw doing that?
Oh man, I don't have any specific names because they're not obviously people I've followed. I've just heard stories of YouTubers who are making plenty of money complaining that they can't feed themselves now, and they took some kind of loss from YouTube for whether it was this ad thing or something in the past. It's just that kind of attitude has been known on YouTube amongst people who are clearly making a ton of money. And just because they took a small hit, they should not be begging for change from their audience.
Mm-hmm.
And just absolutely don't believe in that.
Yeah, I know one thing, like in the YouTube community as a whole, was the whole Philip DeFranco scenario. I don't know if you follow him at all.
Oh, I've heard of the name, yeah.
Yeah, I guess like he used to have this company called SourceFed, which he sold, and now he is
Mm-hmm.
like starting this new news network thing, and nobody knows exactly like what it's going to be, but um,
Mm-hmm.
he created a Patreon, I believe it was, to fund this project, and he was getting a lot of criticism for it because he's already worth like millions of dollars, and it's like, what is like,
Oh,
does he
sure,
really need
yeah.
all of this extra money to continue to do what may or may not be like his same
Mm-hmm.
news show that he's always just done with him sitting in front of a camera?
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of greedy seeming, and they're going to use setbacks on you to get money out of their audience, which is super not cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've got a Patreon set up, but I've never asked or begged for money. I just want people to know it is there.
Right.
But I have a full-time job, so I'm not struggling to myself or anything like that. It's just it's appreciation. That's all it's there for.
Yeah, for me, like I feel like I will probably introduce Patreon at some point, but I'm not sure like when the right time to do that is, because I feel like if I do it too early
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't have like a lot of buzz behind it, then like it'll be weird in the future, as opposed to like if I do it when I'm ready for it to support me. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh yeah, definitely. And I had the same issue too. When I set mine up, it was actually a way for somebody to pay me for a project that I was helping him with, and he had no other way to give me any kind of cash for it. So he was like, "Oh, set up a Patreon, and I can pay you that way." So that's. But before that, I had the exact same idea of I don't know when the right time to set up one is, or if I would need it. And definitely, depending on the growth of my channel, I won't always need it.
Yeah, that is probably one of the most bizarre stories I've heard though. So like he couldn't just use like Venmo or PayPal or anything.
I have no idea what his logic for it was, but that was how he chose to pay me a one-time fee, was subscribe to my Patreon and then quit it. And I'm like, okay, that's okay. I mean,
That's
it's
so
just going to
strange.
PayPal anyway. Yeah.
Because the Patreon
Like, all
thing,
right.
it's like a
Yeah.
monthly, like they pledge a certain amount every month, right?
Yeah. So he pledged whatever he wanted, and then he quit after 1 month. So he could only pay me once, which was fair. But I was like, that's a really strange way to do that. You could have
That's
just
weird.
given me a Patreon.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know
So
how long we've been broadcasting so far. I think when we do this, we should have an actual timer because it doesn't look like there is one
yeah.
on YouTube. Do you want to keep talking about news, or should we move on to stories?
Yeah, we can move on if you want to, because that's really all the news I knew about was those issues.
All right. So I selected a couple of stories here. Um, I didn't read them. I just kind of tried to pick one that looked more sophisticated and one that didn't look as good.
Oh, jeez.
Um,
Your hand out real quick. That bad writing. I am even worse reading.
oh yeah, yeah. Whenever I record,
Yeah,
like
I
the
just.
final product is not a good indication of what the recording
Oh
process was like at
no.
all.
Oh yeah. There's definitely a good time of me editing out and getting sick of my own voice and the stupid mistakes I make over and over again. But especially with bad writing, like the bloopers will be of me just be like, "Why did you write it like that? This is the worst sentence I've ever seen."
Well, this will be fun then.
Oh
You get to
yeah.
see it
Yeah.
live. All right. Do you want to read the first one, Cinder?
You mean on the screen that's on the other side of the computer?
Yeah. We're gonna switch spots here really quick.
Ooh, I get the not so comfy falling apart chair now. That's fun.
All right, so Rabbit, just feel free to hop in and give your comments whenever.
I almost let my sister stalk her
Nice
into my
pun,
house.
man. Hop
What?
in.
I didn't even realize that. I thought the Fluff of Nightmares thing was clever, but I like that one too.
To balance it with a pun.
I almost let my sister stalk her into my house. Well, okay. It's quite the title.
Submitted 16 days ago on Reddit. Let's not meet.
This happened a few days ago, and I'm still pretty shaken about it. I only just thought to post it here, so here goes.
Why does every like Let's Not Meet story have to start like that? Like, oh,
So,
like I just thought to post it here.
it's like, well, I thought I could post it here because, why not? What?
Terrific.
On Friday afternoon. Where's your comma? There should be a comma there.
Off to a
Grammar
great
Nazi.
start.
I got a call from my friend named Sarah asking if I wanted to meet her and another friend named Lisa at Dunkin' Donuts, as we hadn't seen one another in a while.
I was at Dunkin' Donuts today. Rabbit, do they have Dunkin' Donuts in where you live?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, because like I'm from Illinois and they have them like all over the place there, and
Right.
here they have them like much more scarcely. There's only like a few of them in LA, but The ones
Oh.
that they do have are like really nice.
I mean, I'm originally from
Oh.
They're
Minnesota.
like cafe style.
and
Like, are the ones by you like that?
I've got a couple like that, but they sound like they're more consistent here. So there are really crappy ones as well.
Okay.
Dunkin' Donuts is a 15-minute walk from my house, so I decided I would walk besides the weather was fine. Okay. I mean, okay.
Neat.
Awesome. Could have just said that you walked the 15 minutes, but okay, let's make it elaborate and sound fancy.
Yeah. Right.
I got to Dunkin' Donuts and where Sarah and Lisa were sat, so I went to join them. The fuck? That just is clunky.
The sad thing is, I thought this was gonna be like the better one of the two.
Oh, good. I can't wait to hear the next one.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh. Like, run-on sentences within one jeez. As we were chatting, I noticed that my sister, Elena, is that how you say it? Elena? I don't know.
Elena, maybe?
Elena? Elena?
Yeah.
Whatever. My sister Elena was sat at a table
Oh
in
my
the
God.
corner of the room with her friend Jess. For some context, my sister and her friend are both 18 years old. My sister still lives with my parents, whereas I live alone. Okay, that's the improper use of parentheses, but
Thanks.
okay. I excused myself from the table and went over to Elena and Jess's table. Fantastic.
So basically, what's happened so far? She gets to Dunkin' Donuts. She sees the sister and the friend at the table. She goes to talk to him.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a long exposition.
Yeah.
With run-on sentences and incorrect.
Yeah. My gosh.
This person doesn't really use commas except to go, my sister, Elena, and her friend, Jess.
Is there a way I can see the story?
Yeah, that would probably be helpful.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it as well.
Because I would love to see how this is all written.
Oh, God.
Like, it doesn't look that bad.
It doesn't, I mean, in staring at it, it doesn't seem like it's that bad, but reading it.
Oh, sure. Oh, here we go.
There you go.
Well, yeah, it's just the difference between like a comma and not. It could turn into a
Yeah.
difficult to read situation.
Like, when they first started the story with the on Friday afternoon, it's just one massive run-on sentence. And then
Oh, okay, here we go.
I guess when we actually do this, we probably should not
Okay.
nitpick the grammar so much because, like, the audience won't see it.
Yeah, they can't see it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see.
And I think the writing will speak for itself.
Yep.
Oh, got it all up here, so whenever you
Okay,
continue this awesomeness.
Okay. They were sat at a table with 3 seats, so I went to sit down and said, hey. They both jumped a little bit, but then looked more relieved than anything to see me. Immediately, Elena whispered to me, don't look now, but the guy in the blue shirt, I think he's been following Jess and I. I glanced over and I saw a middle-aged man sat at a table facing away from us. He's passed our table a good 5 times in the past 20 minutes to go to the bathroom, but he walks slower as he passes us, she continued.
I guess this person just does not like the word sitting.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, you could just say sitting, not sat, because sat means it's
Yeah, we know what
doing
it
it.
means.
In the past? So way to sit down.
I told them that they were most likely being paranoid and that there was nothing to worry about. But for their peace of mind, I offered to leave with them so they wouldn't feel as worried. I walked back over to my table and explained the situation to Sarah and Lisa. Both of them laughed it off and assumed my sister to be paranoid.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, you could have just said my sister was paranoid. But Okay.
After already saying you're being
Paranoid.
paranoia.
Okay. Literally about a minute later, I saw the man get up from his seat and walk towards the bathroom. My eyes followed him, and sure enough, he walked extremely slow past Elena and Jess. In fact, it was almost comical how obviously slow he became. Both Elena
Oh, jeez.
and Jess looked in my direction, and I nodded to show that I had seen him walk slower.
It's almost comical how obviously slow this story is becoming.
Yes. Like, how long is this act?
Also, I like literally about a minute later.
Yeah.
Literally about a minute later.
Literally.
So is it literally or is it about?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Ah, jeez. About 5 minutes later, I went into the toilets.
Wait, she went into the toilets? Like she went down the drain?
Is this a guy or a girl that's telling this story?
I was assuming it was a girl.
I have no idea
Look,
anymore.
what's the username?
I think it's a guy.
What's the username?
By TW1706.
That helps us a lot.
Always helpful.
You can just tell it's like someone who got banned from the subreddit and they decided to make a new account. And just put random letters and numbers.
Let's see here. About 5 minutes later, I went to the... Yeah?
I feel like it might be like a... Oh, I feel like it might be about somebody from the UK, because I think that's how they call bathrooms, is they call it toilets.
True.
So maybe that's what's going on.
If we have Mortis Media on here next week, or next episode, or when we actually do an episode, then he'll probably know.
Terrific.
Let's hear. I went to the toilets. On my way, I passed Elena and Jess and told them I was ready to leave whenever they were. They both agreed that they were ready to leave now. I told them that I was just going to the bathroom, and that we could leave after I had done my business. Elena had come in her car, so she was going to give me a lift back. Okay. I went into the toilet stall, did said business, washed my hands. That's nice. I don't think we needed that much info. Anyway. I was walking down the corridor back into the main eating area when Elena and Jess rushed into the corridor. I asked them what's up, and they explained that another man had joined the strange creeper man and that the men were both pointing and staring at them, so they rightfully felt unsafe. Okay. We walked back into the eating area. I put my money on our table and explained to Lisa and Sarah that I was taking off, and I would explain what was going on when I got home. We all got into Elena's car and left the creeps in the car's rearview mirror. What?
Wow. It's a lot of information for we left.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a lot of information on, I went to the bathroom and I did all this stuff.
And then we left.
And then as I was leaving, I thought this would be better written. Jeez.
Oh well. Oh man.
Jeez. How long is this?
We're almost done. Almost halfway there.
It's like you're, yeah, about halfway.
I can do this. After a 2-minute drive, we reached my house. Well, you told us it was a 2-minute drive earlier. But...
Well, before we continue, can I just make a prediction? Can we all just make predictions on, like, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
My prediction is, like, nothing happens.
Probably.
Like, they don't get followed, that's it.
Oh, yeah. That's totally my prediction, too, is it happened, but it didn't, so now we're going to move on.
It's like, stuff happened, but it didn't happen. We're going to continue the story, and maybe a little something minor else might happen, but nothing's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This is going nowhere very slowly.
Oh, it says at the very end that it was a guy.
Oh, that's good to know.
Oh, lovely.
Our question has been answered.
Yeah, nice of them to put that at the end and not the beginning, though.
Yeah. Let's see here. Just then I had remembered that I had been meaning to return something I had borrowed from my mother, so I asked if Elena could drive me to my parents' house, as she was going there anyway. I jumped out the car to get away. I jumped out to the car to get what I needed when my phone rang. It was Elena. She explained that a car had driven past and had pulled into a driveway. She said the driver of the vehicle was the creep from Dunkin' Donuts. I looked out of my window, and sure enough, there was a car which didn't belong to the owner of the house parked on their driveway. I got the girls into my house and locked the door. I instructed Elena to take a photo of the car and its license plate, and I told Jess to call 911 as she give the operator more information than what I could.
Wait, so Elena is the sister's friend or his friend?
I thought she was his sister.
Elena is the sister?
Yeah, Jess is the friend.
So he takes the other girls and locks them into the house and then tells her to go out, like, in front of this potentially dangerous car.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Okay, just making sure I followed that.
Unless he was trying to help them take, like, a photo from inside the house.
They have, like, a big telephoto lens. It's like Rear Window.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it does say the license plate of the car, and I'm like, I think you'd have to go outside to do that.
Yeah, unless it has front and back license plates.
Hmm.
And I assume that, like, whenever someone says take a photo, that unless it's, like, stated otherwise, that it's just on their phone.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
And then told Jess to call 911 as she give the operator more information.
as she give the operator more information
than what I could. As she give the.
Terrific.
Elena. I have no idea how to say this girl's name.
Elena.
Elena took the photos, and we sort of gathered around Jess as she was speaking to the operator. Like, you let your sister go outside, or was she taking them from inside the house, in which case you'd have grainy photos? That's...
You know, for all the exposition in the story, they don't give the details on things like that, it seems.
Right.
Yeah. The actual important, interesting
stuff.
Or at least enough details so we know what's going on.
Yeah.
And then over detail on, 15-minute walk to Dunkin', but 2-minute drive.
I mean, I'm still curious about what she borrowed from her mom up there.
Yeah.
I borrowed something from my mother.
I feel like, I don't know. I don't know where that came from, but okay.
It's unnecessary detail.
Very. Let's see here. Where was I?
You got
down down there. Do it. She had finished telling the story, and I heard the operator assure us that the police would be at my house soon. A few minutes passed, and there was a loud knock at the front door, followed by a loud voice shouting, "It's the police." We all did a sigh of relief as I went to open the door. Just told the operator that the police were here, and she hung up. I was in the process of unlocking the door when I thought to look through the spy hole at the top of the door. I peered through, and it wasn't a police officer. It was the same guy. Okay, first off...
So we're all wrong.
Ooh, the guy's at the door. But...
Oh my. I mean... Process of unlocking the door. I mean, I don't know. To me, that's common sense to look through a spy hole before you go and unlock the door, but... You know, maybe it's a trusting person.
I mean, just because the loud voice shouts it's the police doesn't mean it's the police. You always check just to make sure.
Yeah. It seems like that shouldn't have been an afterthought to unlocking the door.
Considering the circumstances, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
I froze in fear, and I didn't know what to say. "We didn't call the police," I managed to shout back to the man through the door. Elena and Jess were both confused as to why I said this. "We had a call, sir," the man shouted back. "You have the wrong address," I yelled back, and informed the girls that it was the creep at the door and not a police officer. Both were rightfully shocked and extremely scared, as was I. I was about to tell Jess to call the police again until I heard the sirens. Sir, you have to let me in, the man shouted again. This time I didn't answer. He was pounding on the door. His commands for me to let him in turned into begging and pleading. I heard the police car pull up and some commotion outside. An actual police officer knocked on the door and I let him in. Yes, I checked the spy hole first.
Wait, so what happened to the other? Like,
What happened
did
to
it
the
say?
guy?
He just disappeared. He vanished.
Where's the vital information telling us what happened? It's like some
one
commotion
interesting part of the
outside.
story.
The
It seems like it's
commotion.
left out.
The commotion's left out. Why?
Wow. Also, who called the police? Is that
That
it
was
says
like later up when.
It said like Jess called them earlier. That's the thing.
Yeah, and then he was saying that they didn't call the police because it was the guy pretending to be the police.
Right. So the
So
first
the-
time he said that, they're lying.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh. Huh.
Interesting. The police officers took the man into custody while.
Oh wait. So the man just sat there as the police rolled up, probably blaring the sirens.
Yes.
And the guy
He was
continued
right
to sit
there.
outside the front door until the police came up and arrested them.
Yes.
Apparently, that's how people work now.
That's how people work.
Oh man, I love true scary stories.
Now you see why I'm sticking to creepypastas mostly.
Right.
Yep.
Well, I mean, all of the true scary stories that you find, like 99% of them are not true. So.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And
Oh,
like on Al Dente Creepypasta, I try to do a lot of stories that like there aren't like supernatural occurrences. So like
Right.
it could be true, but also it's not. And I don't.
Yeah, I really like
try to
those a
cover
lot
that.
too. Man, this is a common occurrence in these quote-unquote true stories, though.
But in a way, this is more entertaining than like the typical thing that you get from
Oh,
Let's
sure.
Not Meet, where it's like, oh, I was walking at night and some guy brushed up against me, and then
Yeah.
like I continued to have fears about him for the next 3 days, but I never saw him again.
Terrifying.
Ooh, so scary. So terrifying. Let's hear. Man into custody while another police officer took Elena and Jess into the dining room for some brief questioning. I called my parents and Jess called hers. Both were here extremely quickly. Okay. You could have just said quickly, but okay. Once we told them what both were here extremely quickly once we had told them what had happened. Okay. The man was found with a kitchen knife on his person and some other weapons in his car. Who knows what could have happened if I hadn't looked through the spy hole first. Both my sister and my friend are fine, just shaken up after the whole incident. So, the guy who stalked my sister and her friend. Let's not meet.
There's that classic line.
Edit. I wanted to protect the identity of my sister and her friend as much as possible, so I changed the place where it happened. It wasn't actually Dunkin' Donuts.
Dang it!
For those using female pronouns.
We've been horribly lied to.
Yeah.
No!
It was a Krispy Kreme the whole time.
I mean,
But I always find that so funny. Like,
it's like, if you're trying to protect the identity of your sister, then why would you change the place instead of changing the name?
right.
Like,
Yeah, it didn't say it changed her name. Whoa.
So he used his sister's real name, but thought it'd be better to change the place? How about just change your sister's name?
Or I always find it funny that like people feel the need to change it to something else instead of saying like we were at a donut shop. Instead of just using a generic term, they have to like change it.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
Like, what?
Wow, you really threw him off.
Yeah, and then I feel like YouTubers do that all the time with people's names. Like, oh, let's just call them Steve. Well, it's like you don't have to say that. You could just say like,
Well, I mean,
you could just give them a name and nobody would question it.
His name was Steve.
Yeah.
this guy named Steve, ... you know.
Well, that was just a wonderful
Oh,
story.
man.
What was
I'm gonna
that?
switch back.
Oh, it sure was.
With some interesting grammar.
So I feel like when we actually do the Deadstream, um, the comments were good, and we could probably just like speed up the pacing a little bit, if that makes any
Mm-hmm.
sense.
Oh yeah.
Story number 2 is from Wattpad, and it is called Black Coffee.
I feel like I've heard this before. Is this the one that you said was less sophisticated?
I
That
believe so.
sounded less sophisticated.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't read any of the stories beforehand. I just kind of looked, like, just at a glance of what the layout of it looked like, and this one looked like it had like a lot of improper lowercase letters and stuff like that.
Oh,
This one's a little bit shorter.
this isn't the one I've read.
Okay.
I've read a different story called Black Coffee, and I was like, don't tell me I read something terrible.
One of the
But we're good.
tracks. Have you seen Cowboy Bebop?
Not in a long time.
Like one of the songs from that is called Black Coffee, and it's like the weirdest song out of the whole soundtrack. And it's just like they're jamming, and then the lyrics are like this weird guy asking this girl to get coffee with him, and her just saying no.
Nice.
I don't remember where it even is in the show, but I know it's like on the soundtrack because I listen to that every now and then. Anyways, Black Coffee by storyteller Swarnoxic, I'm guessing is how you pronounce that. So there's an update here at the top. Thanks to everyone who's read my book and left votes and comments. The book just got over 50,000 reads. Is that what they call like stories on Wattpad as books?
No, it's one of.
I don't know.
It says at the top that it's short horror stories.
Oh, so this is part of a collection or something?
Yeah, see?
Okay.
There's like a book at the top.
Alright, the book has gotten over 50,000 reads, and it's crazy. Thanks for over 200 votes on this chapter. If you're reading my book for the first time, I suggest you carry on, as the best stories are yet to come. Here
So
it goes.
this is one of like the better ones in theory.
Yeah, so she's just admitting straight at the top that this is not one of the best ones. A young girl was babysitting for a neighbor. The baby was upstairs in its cot, and she was on the sofa downstairs watching TV. It was all quiet and normal, until the ring of the phone broke the silence. She picked it up, and a man's cold, deep voice began to talk. Black coffee, check your baby, I'm in your town. What?
Having trouble with it? Boy.
I mean, the only thing that makes this like slightly not hilarious is the fact that she was actually babysitting, and he says check the baby. But even then,
yeah.
Okay, so this is what I was about to say. But the girl put down the phone, assuming it was just a prank call, which is probably what I would do too.
Oh, yeah.
Just to be sure, she went up the stairs to see the baby's room to see if he was okay. The baby was fine. So she went back downstairs and sat down in front of the TV. After about 40 minutes, the phone rang again. She picked it up again. The man once again spoke to her through the phone. Black coffee, check your baby, I'm on your street. She once again put down the phone, and she went over to the front window and looked around the street. No one was there. She was beginning to get a little bit frightened. She went up the stairs and checked the baby. The baby was fine.
Ooh, prediction.
Okay.
The baby won't be okay.
Don't think so.
Cry wolf 3 times, and the 3rd time something bad happens.
After about half an hour, the phone rang once again. She picked it up and waited for the man to speak. Black coffee, check your baby, I'm at your door. She ran to the door and picked up a cane. Why does she have a cane? Like, I'm assuming that she was
classy.
I'm assuming she was like a teenager or something. Yeah, a young girl.
I mean,
This is the first
it could
sentence.
have been near the door, but it is a little odd. You look through the keyhole.
I lost my place.
You're
Okay.
like down there.
No one was there. She ran upstairs to find that the baby was gone. She heard a creak in the closet and stabbed through the closet door with the cane. Wait, so
Whoa!
So some guy prank calls her 3 times. she goes upstairs.
Yeah.
She hears a creak, which could happen in any house,
Mm-hmm.
and she tears down the front door with a cane.
This is like
Stabbed right
closet.
through it with a cane.
The closet. Wouldn't
It
it
seems
have
like
to
a
be like
logical
a
reaction.
blade or something?
And when she says cane, like, I guess I don't know, like, specifically what she's... But I'm assuming it's like a walking cane. Like a piece of wood.
I would
Yeah.
think so. Like, unless she's talking about... No, that'd be different for a fireplace. Those poker
Oh, yeah.
ones.
Yeah, like a fireplace poker thing. So the next sentence is, she hit someone. It doesn't say who. Just says she hit someone. Oh, so I guess like
it just said she hit something.
I think it's trying to say that she broke down the door and the door hit something on the other side. But it's not very well articulated.
Oh, she like stabbed through the door and then hit some...
Yeah, she stabbed through the door with her magic mighty cane sword
That's what it
and
says.
hit somebody.
I'm not sure if that's what it's supposed to mean. She opened the closet door, and hanging from a hanger was the baby, bleeding black coffee. That's so random.
Oh my.
Well, how did she know that there was
that's
black coffee and not just black blood?
no explanation at all.
Like, did she taste the blood? Like,
bleeding black coffee.
how did she know it was coffee?
Just yeah, how would you know it's black coffee? Does it smell like coffee?
I mean, I guess this one is more like a creepypasta in the way that it's written. It feels more like a legend, but there's no like wrap up to this one at all.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't say what happened.
No.
It doesn't say like they investigated and couldn't find the man. It doesn't say like the police were called. It doesn't say what happened to her, if she got in trouble.
It used it.
Doesn't say why her baby is a coffee demon.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be great if like there was no stranger, but oh yeah, no, it says she opened the door and it hit someone. Oh no, she opened the closet
stabbed
door.
Through the closet door with a cane.
So it doesn't say like
It hit someone.
It never says who she hit or if that was like the culprit.
And then she opens the door and finds that she apparently hit the baby that was hanging on a hanger.
It doesn't even say what happened to her.
Because it was bleeding coffee, so it's implied that she killed the baby and it bled coffee for some crazy reason.
Black coffee. Like, what?
But what it says is she ran upstairs. Oh, okay. She says she stabs through the closet door with the cane. Yeah, so maybe she's the one who kills the baby.
Mm-hmm.
The way I imagined it when I first read it was that she goes upstairs,
I think
and then she stabs through the bedroom door, and then she goes and opens the closet door and finds the baby. But I guess that's not how it's written.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot there, and nobody knows what the explanation is.
Well, I'm afraid that our time has come here on the first episode of the Deadstream. But don't worry, because we're going to be doing a new Deadstream every month. If you have a story you'd like us to read here on the show, or if you find out about any news going on in the YouTube horror community that we might want to talk about, send an email to czworld@gmail.com. There'll be a link to that in the description. Rabbit, where can the people find you on social media?
Twitter at Lady White Rabbit, WITE, for that white.
Aren't there others too?
Or
is that the only one you care about? Patreon, right?
Yeah, I've got links that I can send out. It's or even Facebook's Facebook page.
When we actually do this, I will have like an end card thing with all the info on it, but
Gotcha. Yeah, because I was like, all my links are things that I can't speak easily.
Right. After I decided to drop that one person, I didn't feel like re-rendering it until I was sure, because it took forever to render.
Sure.
And you can find me on Facebook, Google+, and Instagram as CZ's World. I have a new Twitter handle, CZ's World _horror. Remember to subscribe to CZ's World and Lady White Rabbit for new horrors every week. Ring that death bell for notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Assuming we both survive.